Our first word is fairy. So a fairy is a small magical creature. Usually they have wings, but it's basically just any little creature that can do magic. Sometimes they can be kind of mean and play pranks on people or like mess with people, but this one just seems to be in charge of like making plants grow. Okay, next we have the word succulents. Succulents are plants that store extra water. So in this picture here, we can see that these plants have really thick stems. Another common succulent would be like a cactus. So what happens is these plants usually grow in areas that are very dry, like a desert, so they don't get a lot of rain. Well, plants need rain water in order to survive. So what these plants do, they have adapted by being able to store the water in their stems. So when it's dry out, the plants use up all their water and they become small. And then as it rains, they fill up with water, almost like a balloon would fill up with air. So then once it gets dry again, they can start using up their water little by little until the next rain comes when they fill back up. So they are constantly growing and shrinking and growing and shrinking. Okay, next we have ash. So ash is this like black powder stuff that is left behind after burning something. So if you've ever had a fire or like made something on a grill and you burn the whole piece of wood, then the wood will turn black and then it eventually kind of goes away and all that's left is a little bit of powder. That powder is called ash. Also, if you are Catholic and you go to church on Ash Wednesday during Lent, they put the ashes on your forehead. So that's something else that you can get that is ash. Ember. So this is the name of our video. Ember is a glowing piece of burning wood or coal. So we can actually see the embers here floating through the air. So the little fairy is looking around and noticing that things are starting to like turn into ash and they're not really sure what's happening. And then they see these embers floating through the air and eventually they see the big guy who is made out of embers. So maybe that's his name. I don't know. Prevent. Prevent means to stop from happening. So the fairy was trying to prevent the big guy from going around and destroying any more of the plants because they didn't know like what was going on. So prevent means to stop something from happening. So maybe if you saw your friend was about to make a bad decision, you could prevent them from doing that. Or like getting a vaccine. So if you go to the hospital and you get a flu vaccine, you get a shot in your arm, it prevents you from getting the flu. So right now we're waiting for a vaccine for COVID-19 so it can prevent us from getting sick. Trapped. Trapped means that you are not able to escape. So he got trapped because he got all like wrapped up with these vines, but you can also trap somebody like in a corner, right? So if there's a corner of a room, you can get someone stuck there. People can fall into something and then they're trapped like at the bottom. So basically it just means that you are not able to escape, you need help. If you think about dust bunnies, the dust bunnies from last week's video, they were trapped in the vacuum, so the little bunny had to go up and rescue them. Explode. So explode means to blow up. So different things can cause explosions. In this case, the big guy kind of like built up energy because he was mad and he just like, he exploded, right? There's different things that explode like dynamite, TNT, stuff like that. Or it can also be sort of metaphorical. So it doesn't have to be an actual physical explosion. Like maybe you just get really mad at someone, so you're like, ah! That could be, you could say, oh, I exploded yesterday. But it doesn't mean you literally blew up. It means that you got really mad and it all came out. Desolate. Desolate means that there are no plants or animals. So at the beginning, we saw that this was a desert. So it wasn't necessarily a desolate desert because there were still those succulents, even though they were kind of dying. Well, in this case, we see that the fire wiped out everything, right? So the little fairy is the only thing left. So the little fairy is in this desolate landscape. It's very sad. There's not much going on. And this is what happens after big fires. So there have been big fires in California, for example. So those areas would look something like this, very desolate, not a lot of stuff going on. Okay, regrowth, the growing of new plants in an area. So regrowth starts with the word, or starts with the root prefix re, right? So we see the word growth. Grow means to like get bigger. Re means to do it again. So if we see regrowth, it means that there was already something there and now it's coming back. So regrowth with plants specifically happens in the aftermath of fire. So the soil that plants grow in, the dirt, only has a certain number of nutrients like food. So the plants need these things in order to live. At the beginning of the video, we saw that the plants were sort of wilted, they were very sad, and they were all kind of dying, right? Like none of the plants looked good, and the fairy couldn't do anything about it. It's because the soil had lost all of its nutrients. The plants had kind of eaten all of the food, so they couldn't get any bigger. Well, whenever that happens, there's usually a fire, just natural, starts from like a lightning strike or whatever. When the plants burn, all of the nutrients that they ate goes back into the soil. So that way new plants can come back in and have all those nutrients and be even better than before. So this whole video is kind of showing a real like natural process that happens where plants are kind of dying, they catch on fire, and then the plants that come back, the regrowth is even prettier, is even better because they have all the nutrients from the plants that got burned up in the fire. Disappear. So disappear means to go away. If you're an Avengers fan, then this scene will be very reminiscent of Thanos's, scene where he snaps his fingers. But to disappear means to go away, to leave. In this case, the guy disappeared because he was done with his job, right? And if you notice, all of his embers, everything that was glowing except for his eyes, everything went out, right? So he is done. His job is done. He has helped the plants grow, and now he's just going to blow away. He's going to turn into ash and blow away. He's going to disappear.